compared to $7 million on March 31st, 2026. Cash balance 27% increase, primarily driven by favorable project mix. The revenue increase resulted in $1.6 million of gross profit for the quarter. For Stadco, Q1 fiscal 2027 revenue increased by $700,000 or 22% increase compared to the same period last year as we continue to execute on our strategic project. Stadco experienced Q1 year-over-year gross margin improvement as gross profit increased by $300,000 or 65% improvement, mainly due to higher revenue and throughput improvement. Customers to reduce the wait times and improve throughput. With that, I will turn it back to Alex.
In closing, for those on the call, TechPrecision is a custom manufacturer of precision, large-scale fabricated components and components. The components that we manufacture are customer designed. We sell to customers we do most of our work in industries that are highly sensitive to confidentiality, which environment might discuss. Please understand there are real limits as to what I can discuss, and sometimes those subsidiaries and military aircraft manufacturing through our Stadco subsidiary. We aim to secure and maintain enduring partnerships with our customers. As noted earlier, the total of completely funded grant money of more than $24 million from our U.S. Navy submarine programs reflects this 50% of TechPrecision's market cap of $48 million. Overall, at both Raynor and Stadco of our backlog, we are encouraged by the prospects for growing our revenue and increasing profitability in subsidiary to get into the black. We are targeting. Operator, please open the line for Q&A.
Star 1 on your phone at this time. Questions or comments, please press star 1 on your phone. ARS Investment Partners, your line is live.
And direction in the company.
Thank you.
Programs that were costing you money at Stadco. Can you give us an update on where we stand with regard to having?
It's good to be able to say this with some facts behind us. Yes. I'm not going to be able to pinpoint the specific programs, but it's not just one program, Ross. It's across the board. We continue to take a look at what our manufacturing costs and our approach is and see and look to submit, price adjustments. And when they're warranted and adjudicated as such, they do come back with the last quarter.
When you look at the kind of the percentage of business or the business you do under this impingement in this kind of environment?
Now?
Yeah.
Put a percentage number on there because the mix tends to change quarter to quarter. That are added to current orders. The making sure we really in this new contract you've given us. Quoting stage all the way through to execution. So when we reach a certain milestone with the customer, it starts off with, a quoting process, and the new ones really have a lot more percentage. It's just hard to pinpoint a percent. I think it's more characterized by,
Alex talked about the quoting process, and as we hit milestones, reviewing, we have now a robust, estimate to complete process in place that's going to help us avoid any surprises and get back to the customer much earlier than what we've had, and address any issues, particularly on first articles, as we move forward. So positive improvement.
Problem is older contracts, and as those older contracts roll off or are addressed, we should be looking at parts numbers that you produce at Stadco that have losses, and eventually that should go, other than be seeing fewer and fewer drags on performance out of Stadco as the older contracts roll.
Driving towards. Absolutely correct.
Okay. Is part of the problem, Ben, that the quality of work you're receiving partially worked, or in my words, partially worked, and you have to finish it, you have to take it from a mildly worked lump of metal and turn it into something actually meaningful? Is part of the problem that the work that comes to you has been substandard?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Problems because it interrupts our manufacturing. The plan doesn't go accordingly. We didn't expect castings have inherent porosity that process is subject to it. So when that happens, the blip turns into it needs to go on hold and wait for
which
so yes,
increases cost and reduces it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. And
are bringing in new business, your customers Are you finding them bringing you more work? It seems that in this is that they might be eager to push more work towards you finding that?
Yes, we are. And, thank you for with the contracts that we have. And by and large, delivering on not only into more POs on stuff that we have repeated in the past that we're still competing for every time, customers that are confident in us. But we have certain capabilities, and for example, there's electron beam welding capability. Has that capability and the size of the what happens is we got new quotes. We can land, one or two of those. But if we don't do any new quoting for opportunities, we are actively searching and making sure we ask for the opportunity to quote. That are perhaps adjacent or competitors with our current customers. We're getting just now on interruptions, how some customer furnished material might have defects. Okay, well, we need stuff in the background to fill the gap. And that's really working quite nicely. We have quotes that are turning into business and new awards of new parts, and those do have a tendency to fill in the gap when it coincides and the mix is right. We've started to experience some of that. It's very encouraging. And yes, so to answer your question in a long-winded fashion, we are set and some new customers as well.
Okay, and we talked last call about the potential by whether it's the government or the primes. And we talked about the potential for that at STAD in that side, where, it strikes me as, quite honestly, an editorial comment with the U.S. Air Force looking at possibly the advanced air-to-air missiles, I think the 130 to Australia, which would make sense that they move away from their current a year. Have you seen any willingness or any interest in people like Boeing or Sikorsky or others to provide the capital needed or the equipment needed for you to meaningfully
aggressively from our side to the customers? I think I have a clamp put on me on how much I can speak about it, so I think that in itself is going to answer your question, as in, and I'm not at a point to speak of it yet, but I think that's an answer in itself, because if there were talk about on the specifics, the progress is not visible yet, so hopefully soon.
Clear that you guys have turned a corner. You've gained a level of confidence, starting to show in the back-to-back $9 million plus. I start to meaningfully break into the free cash flow positive level. Along the way, it would be really nice to see insiders buy stock. You had so it would be really nice to see some people show support for the business. As I said, literally, I think it probably cost members actually buying stock.
All right.
Agreed. Thank you.
Release out early, and also, even though you dropped it into a day when I have 5 calls at the same time, but
Sorry.
But on top of that, both financially, but even more importantly, I think culturally and how you come to the street is really important and is really appreciated. Gentlemen, take care.
Thank you. That concludes our Q&A session. I'll now hand the conference back to management for.
Everyone, have a great day.